Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Dominic and I'd like to welcome you to yet another episode of Not News, the Nerd News Show. Let's do this, shall we? First up on the show, we have some news about the rebooted Star Trek franchise, with Paramount Pictures officially picking up production on a new Star Trek movie to follow on from the yet-to-be-released Star Trek Beyond. This fourth movie in the reimagining of Gene Roddenberry's pioneering universe will see Chris Pine's Captain James Kirk reunite with his dead father George Kirk, played by none other than Marvel's God of Thunder himself, Chris Hemsworth. If you cast your mind back, you'll remember that it was actually Hemsworth who played Kirk's self-sacrificing father in the first movie of the rebooted franchise. Given his current Hollywood cachet, it only makes sense to use that all-encompassing power that is time travel to bring him back into the fold and capitalise on what could prove to be a huge box office draw. Star Trek Beyond, it turns out, has been impressing in the early screenings for critics, garnering quite the positive reaction, so much so that Paramount dropped its review embargo 6 days earlier than previously announced, in order to let reviewers preach the gospel of this third movie in the franchise. It's as yet unknown whether Fast and Furious maestro Justin Lin will return to direct the as yet untitled fourth movie, but we'll be sure to let you know as soon as we find out. Star Trek Beyond is set for release on the 22nd of July 2016. In other news, Marvel have released an exclusive Comic-Con poster for its upcoming series based on the original Hero for Hire Luke Cage. The poster is heavily stylized with an almost Frank Miller-esque use of shadow alongside contrasting yellow accents. It looks pretty cool. Now, those of you who watched Marvel's earlier Netflix series Jessica Jones, and if you haven't, I strongly suggest that you do, you'll already be familiar with Mike Colter's incarnation of the character, as he features heavily in that show as not only the love interest for the titular heroine, but also as a man with a past of his own who has his own demons to purge. Now, while I don't mind Colter's performance as Cage, I didn't exactly love it. The Luke Cage I know has a certain charisma to him, an attitude that, while its roots may be firmly planted in the blaxploitation movies of the 70s, its eventual evolution turned out to be the character's defining personality. Now, it's true that with his sassy quips and African American vernacular English, the Cage of the comics is somewhat of a caricature, and that's an extreme that's best avoided, but Colter's Cage goes too far the other way in my opinion, making the impenetrable man too sullen and brooding to evoke any real sense of juvenile idolatry, which, let's be honest, is kind of what we want from our comic book heroes. In fairness, Colter's Cage was a supporting cast member in Jessica Jones' story. I'm looking forward to seeing where they take him in his own series. And that's it for this episode of Not News. Thank you once again for tuning into the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do hit that like button down below if you did, and subscribe to the channel for more videos. My name's Dominic, and I'll catch you next time.